But then, like, we can utilize the example of country music, right?
Yeah.
And I was, funny enough, like, when me and my brother were doing a podcast, like, we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and we were talking about how in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they said that country is derived from, like, essentially, like, white people. Like, they don't talk about the origins of black people within the small sentence of the origins of country, which is crazy, right?
Absolutely.
So when you're talking about, like, a humongous, like, company of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it's not talking about black people and the origins of country music and how y'all recorded enslaved folks and got those tempos and then decided to record it yourself, now you're erasing me. And not only are you erasing me, now you're taking me out of profit of things and places and opportunities that I could have been a part of because I'm erased. So now shit gets deep.
Yeah. No, I can respect that for sure.
So for her, I'm assuming, right, we can't, like, know what's in her brain. For her, as being a Southern person, probably knowing that history deeper than we do as Northerners.
You know, that's a lesson we recently learned about, you know.
I didn't learn any lessons.
No, not lessons, but how those things can be very deep for people who are from the South compared to where we sit.
For sure.
On the American map. So you know what? You're absolutely right.
So now it gets deep.
Yeah.
You know, it's bigger than Nino Brown. So I think, like, and if you just dig a little bit underneath that first layer of the surface, a lot of things can be deep. Yeah. Clothing can be deep. Jewelry can be deep. Nails can be deep. Education can be, you know what I mean? Like, we can flip it anyway because, unfortunately, we are second-class citizens within America.
This is true.
But yeah.
Yeah, I still can't come back to where I was going when I said that, but not taken away from that.
No. Yeah.
That's all facts. Very much true.
So the last visual album is Black is King, and you were saying that Black is King does something for you. Could you explain?
I just feel like as a black woman in the world, I just felt like you were just kind of talking about the erasure of, like, our history and things like that, but it just felt like a coming to moment of, you know, American Black history with African Black history or African history. It just felt like a marriage of the two, and it just felt really beautiful. Like, I just really loved it. I just felt like when I watched it, I just felt so proud. Like, it just made me so proud to be a Black woman. And I don't know, it was great.
I love that because I think, like, part of, like, that weird conversation that we had the other time with the girl.
She know.
You were there, Jeff.
You were there.
Okay.
You were there.
Okay.
Yeah, if I was there. Yeah.
But, like, I feel like nowadays, yes. And it's just weird because I don't hang around these necessarily people, but, like, I feel like there's diaspora wars that are happening between, like, African Americans and people who are not from America.
This is very true. I just had this conversation with someone.
And because I was raised Caribbean, and because we lived in a very Caribbean, like, city, even my one or two, like, African American friends, they was cool with the Haitians. They was cool with the West Africans. Like, so it was just, like, very much a melting pot. So it's, like, sometimes for me, unfortunate when people are, like, very anti-immigration or very xenophobic. And it's just, like, because, like, I kind of, like, it's hard to understand because I'm like, y'all, you know, we all Black, right? Like, you know, like, the boat just got dropped off at a different location, right? Like, it's hard for me to, like, grapple with, like, the distaste that people have with immigrants because I am a product of an immigrant.
Yeah.
But
I also want to add to that, though, because, you know, my second job, I work in an environment where there are a lot of Liberian people, a lot of Haitian people, a lot of people of different cultures, and they also have their own perceived, like, notions of us. Like, a lot of them assume that Black people are lazy or they look down upon us because they feel like, you know, I don't want to use the incorrect terms, but it's like, you know, we are just
Lost.
yeah, that's exactly it. Like we're lost. We don't know our history, you know.
Or that African Americans don't have culture.
Or that we don't have culture, when we all know that's completely false. But it's like, you know, they have this narrative where they do look down upon us often, and it's like, you don't really understand the history of being Black or African American. So like the other day, my coworker, she went to work, and I don't really know, I'm not there during the day, so I don't really know the culture and everything like that. But she had on this shirt, and it had Ruby Bridges on it. And it was like, you know, I think she was leaving the school in black and white, and she, you know, she had to be escorted out. And like,
I think that's the Norman. Is it like a painting?
Yeah.
Oh, the like Norman Rockwell painting.
But she was like talking to this guy, and he's African, and she was like, oh, you know, she's like, do you know who this is on my shirt? Like, and he was like, no. And like, and she tried to explain to him, and he just kind of didn't care. He didn't care to understand. And when I saw her later on that night, she was like, oh, do you like my shirt? I was like, yeah, it's Ruby Bridges. She was like, oh my God. And I think we just kind of had a conversation about, a lot of times they just don't understand like the American history that we have, and why racism is the way it is, and why like the culture is the way that it is. Because I have this one coworker who's just like, he doesn't believe that racism exists. Like he's African, and like I think he had an experience recently with like a white cop that kind of changed his perspective a bit. But it's just like, they don't know our history. So a lot of times our experiences, and not saying this is to everyone, but it doesn't seem like it's important to them. It doesn't feel important to them. And I think that sometimes creates like that clash that we have with, that some folks have with like people who are immigrants, because of that misalignment in terms of our history in this country.
I totally agree with you 100%. And I think the disconnect on both ends is a lack of education.
Yeah, I agree.
And also, I think like, as somebody told this to me before, and it just like snapped in my brain, the individuals that are coming here are essentially either very intelligent, very hardworking. They're not like bums of the country, right? So like, the individuals that are coming into this country have a higher level of something. So because of that, they're already viewing individuals separate from them as a different way, because there is this idea of the American dream that they feed into
that doesn't exist.
But also, in addition to that, there's a desire, because of what we think America is, this idea of, no, I think the lie is still living.
You do?
Absolutely, because then why do people come here?
I still think they come here
because of the American dream lie.
I don't think they think about the American dream anymore. I think this current administration has like shown that doesn't exist. But I still think, even if that's not achievable, in a lot of ways, it's better and it's more opportunity than what I had at home. For sure, but I think that is folded within that, because I was literally just about to say that, but I think that is folded within the American dream of opportunity, right? Like, bring your I'm messing up the quote, but essentially, you're hungry, you're poor.
Yeah, you're hungry, you're poor, like bring it to us. So it's just the idea of, I can make it regardless of what it is. If I'm living in the shack, I'm still living in the shack in New York City. I still have opportunity to rub shoulders against a millionaire. I'm not going to have that opportunity within my country of a wider class division. There's a possibility of an opportunity. Yeah. And what we know is that's false, because you can be the hungriest, the most smartest, the most cleverest person and still live in poverty.
Absolutely.
Because that's systemic racism, and that's how that works. But I do believe that the American dream is still alive and well. And what happens is there is a disconnect, because people who come here don't feel like they have to understand the people who live here. And on top of that, what gets pushed out in terms, because one of America's biggest export is intellectual property. So what that means is our media, our music, our fashion, what have you. And our media is constantly very whitewashed, very anti-black. So if that is the main thing that is being pushed out to China, to Ghana, to Singapore, then it's very like one-to-one. Not saying that that's how it's supposed to be, but it's very one-to-one to be like, oh, black people are lazy. Oh, black people are violent. Oh, black people are poor. Yeah. Like, oh, I know America. Like, I've watched the TV. Mm-hmm. Like, so it's just like, you don't do that due diligence when you do decide to come here because you think because you ingested America's media, you have a handle on who black people are.
Yeah, for sure. This just reminded me of like this book that I read called Let It Rain Coffee. And it was about, I'm not sure, it was a Spanish family that came and they were living in New York, and the mom just kind of just was so set on like the American dream and all this stuff. And then I can't fully remember, but when she got here, it just kind of wasn't that, and just kind of breaking down sort of those sort of systems that were in place of what is portrayed and then what reality here is actually like. It was a really good book. Easy read too, but
less than 100 pages?
Not less than 100 pages.
Okay.
I don't think, but I don't think it was a thick book. Okay. I remember it being relatively small, but it was it was really great about immigration and just the American dream and how the American dream isn't necessarily real.
Yeah. It's not real. It was never real for us.
No, absolutely not.
But making the connection between like all the things that we're talking about, I think the diaspora rulers, unfortunately, is not just an online thing. It's a real thing.
It's a real thing for sure.
And I get it because I remember my grandma and my grandma's friends talking about how black kids are lazy.
Yeah.
Right. And then at the same time, I'm like, not my friend who's getting A's.
Right. Yeah.
They buzzing their ass. So it's just like,
we internalize that too. Absolutely.
For sure. And I think it's weird because I'm half American, half Jamaican, but like, I don't know. I'm like getting to know my American side now, like my family or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I know my dad's like gonna move to Uganda like tomorrow. So that is a thing. But it's just like, I've always like been in this mindset because like low-key he was a hotep. So I was always been in this mindset of like, we're all black. Like, regardless of where you landed on this continent, like we are like, even though the term of blackness was like derived in America, that you are still, i.e. a diaspora from Africa. We all are like cousins some way. And I think like going back to Black is King, like I too felt that as well. I'm just like, oh snap! Like it was a celebration.
Yes, it was.
You found your way back.
Yeah, and that's like one of my most favorite songs. Absolutely.
Your favorite songs are never my favorite songs.
What do you like?
Already is one of my favorite songs.
Okay.
I like the stuff that you either gotta be nasty or you get down and like, you know, you be dancing. But sorry, you were gonna say something?
Do you like Water?
I love
Sometimes.
Water.
Interesting. Okay, all right.
Sometimes.
Good.
I liked Water, but I got over it very quickly.
Okay.
If that makes sense. But I find it hilarious that, I don't know if you all know this, because, you know, The Gift is / Black is King is a companion to the Lion King
movie.